Today I'm going to tell you some basic do's and don'ts when it comes to trading Pokemon cards, or to be honest, really trading any trading cards out there like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, anything else. So let's get to it, shall we? Number one would be just the terms of negotiations. So let's imagine a situation, Rand on the left and Rand on the right. Rand on the right has a collection of 1,500 cards worth 10 cents a pop, and he's asking 150. Everybody knows that's no go. You're not going to make a deal with Ryan. Nobody's going to pay you that much. But the don't in here is don't make him a counteroffer. And the reason is, if you make him a real world counteroffer and you give him like, okay, Ryan, look, I'm going to pay you $30. It's going to be such a negative conversation. You're going to involve so many negative emotions in Ryan number two that it's not going to go well. It's not going to end well for him, for you. There's going to be, he's going to tell you, oh, you're trying to scam me. Why are you trying to scam me, bro? And you're going to be like, your collection is worthless, and you're going to make him feel even worse. It's not a nice conversation to have either way. There's no good way to resolve a situation like this. Either one of actually both the parties are going to feel really bad after the whole thing. So this is a no-go. If somebody's making a really unreasonable, say, assumption on how much their collection is worth, just don't make them an offer. What you should say instead is, yeah, I'm sure you'll find a buyer. That's it. Say he's asking 150 and you're like, you know what? I don't think I can do 150, but I'm sure you'll find a buyer. That's it. End the conversation right there. Move on to the next topic, because there's just no good ending to it. And number two, I feel like something, this really shouldn't be something that I should be included in this list, but unfortunately life is what it is and some people need to be reminded. Never try to sell proxies, never try to sell fakes, never try to deliberately fool someone into buying a fake card. Just don't do that. Using proxies is perfectly fine, and playing with proxies is perfectly fine, as long as just the other party agrees to it as well, and you disclose it, hey, I'm using proxies. But selling them leaves such a bad taste in people's mouth. If you get caught, if somebody knows it's you selling proxies, your reputation is going to be tarnished forever. There's just no way. You're basically going to be on the same level as a thief. There's no coming back from it. If people find out you're deliberately selling proxies, that's it. That's it for you. You can just move on to something else. There's no life for you in TCG at this point. Nobody will mess with you. And and even then, why are you trying to host people for a couple bucks? What's wrong with you? And it's not like these cards are super expensive either. Most Pokemon cards in general are super cheap. So what's the point of even? It's just selling fakes. It's something I don't understand, and I directly discourage every time I, come across somebody trying to sell proxies or fakes or counterfeits. Playing with proxies is fine, but selling counterfeits is a no-go at every level, right? Let's move on to number three. Is when you're dealing with higher, say, price value cards, please be sure to disclose all imperfections. Because the reason is, the premium for high, say, for like really good condition, high value cards is so high most of the time that any little ding on the corner, like a damaged corner on a $1,000 card, can cost you $2,000. And that's a really bad experience if somebody pays you a near mint price for a card, let's say $1,000, and then they received a played card that's like, I don't know, it has a Sharpie on it, it has a freaking nicked corner, it's got like stains on it, it has dirt all over the place, it's nowhere near mint, but you sold them as near mint, you're going to have a problem. So if you do disclose all imperfections, that's super good of you. You're really on the right path to being the right seller, and also the right buyer should also ask for any imperfections as well. It doesn't really have that much to do with the newly printed cards like this Umbreon Max, that VMAX that we see on the screen. But as we go more into the vintage market, say with base set Charizards and whatnot, disclosing every single imperfection on the card is vital to making the deal go smoothly. Because every single imperfection has a super high impact on the price. Nobody cares about imperfections on commons. But we care about imperfections on expensive cards because we want them to look good, right? We're paying for them to look good. Number 4 is something that I unfortunately also come across very often, and this applies to both buyers and sellers. So whenever you make a deal, or make a trade with somebody online, don't wait with sending whatever you're sending. Number 1, don't if you got the money for the deal right away, why are you taking forever to send the package? You're coming off as shady. You're far less likely to get that customer to return as a returning buyer to you. And if you are a buyer, why are you not sending the money right away when an agreement is reached? Let's say we've been negotiating for I don't know, an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours even for a big deal, and we come up, we agree on the price. Let's say it's a couple $1,000s, and then just like, okay, give me a week and I'll get it to you. Why did you just waste hours of my time to make me wait even longer? Are you insane? What's wrong with you? I don't want to do business with you anymore. And that really applies to the seller as well. Like, I'm sending you money as soon as possible. Send the product, send the cards the next day. Put them in a post, give you my tracking number. That's it. Just don't wait a week or a couple days is fine if something comes up. And then you have an excuse like, dude, I'm sorry, my car broke down or something. But it's like, once is fine, but don't really come up with excuses either. Just be diligent. If you're selling, especially if you're selling like high value stuff, customer service is everything, and being a good customer is also everything, because good customers, when you send money on time, you send money right away, you're not making problems out of nowhere, you're not being an ass, the seller is going to treat you very well as well, and you're far more likely to receive some sort of discounts for being a repeated customer. So it really goes both ways. And honestly, it's really coming down right now to the last point, number 5, which is you gotta price your cards right. And that comes back to the negotiation from number 1, is that if you have a collection that is, let's say, comprised of bulk cards like we see on the screen right now, Bulbasaurs, like Swablos, all commons, and like very, 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 very low dollar amounts, like a couple cents a pop, but you have like thousands of them. Let's say you have 2,000 cards worth 10 cents. You don't have $200 in your collection. You're more likely to have like $10 in your entire collection. And I explained that reasoning in one of my other videos, which is how to price your collection or something like that. There's a title of it somewhere in my channel. Is that depending on how your collection is constructed, not every $1,000 is the same $1,000. If you have a collection that consists of, for simplicity's sake, 2 Umbreon VMAXs, each worth $500, you probably have about $900 right there. If you have a collection consisting of $110 cards, you maybe have like $400 worth of cards, really. 400, 500, maybe 700 if they're all like really good condition and they're desirable cards. But if you have like a freak ton of just really, it's just worthless cards, let's be honest, your collection's worth a couple dollars at best. So please try to understand this concept, is that nobody wants to deal with large amounts of low dollar stuff, make 100 million trips to the post office, and please be a good seller and price your cards correctly. That it makes the whole world tick a little bit better. It makes, everybody a little bit happier. And if you just have thousands of commons, just don't sell them, keep them, have fun with them, right? You paid for them. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today, and please be a good seller and a good buyer. Please trade your cards responsibly. It's all a hobby, so let's just have fun with it, shall we? And by the way, consider becoming a patron.